Givenchy Foundation and Bronzer 03.
But I got the Givenchy. This is it here, the bronzer. So let's get ready with me with the Givenchy foundation. I have the shade 58W. Yep. I'm gonna press 2 palms. I think that should be fine. Hope you all have had a great weekend as well. Okay, so concealer, let's use Natasha and Hourglass. So use the light one here. And this one. Yeah, okay. So because of the, you know, we're going to test it, I don't want to use a contour, just so you see its originality. And Givenchy, this is nice. Thank you for this beautiful box. It came really nice. I love it. I got some perfume or whatever that is, perfume samples. So yeah, this is the bronzer, and I've got this. Let me spray it and see how I like it. It's not coming out. What's going on? Okay, hold on. Okay, so you have this. The stuff is here, and I was trying to swatch it earlier, but I didn't do a good one, so I thought I'll swatch it again. Let me wipe my hands, and then let's do some swatching. First of all, okay, so let's do the swatch of them. Yeah, I love the packaging. It's locks. I don't know if I've shown you, if I've tried to compare. Have I done that? I hope I haven't. I have or not, or whatever. But anyway, look. So you see, it's not as big as the Bobbi Brown, but it still locks. It feels bougie. You know, it's weighted, if you can say that. I love the packaging. I might pick up the powder. I don't know yet. But, you know, it's beautiful. It's lovely. Right, so let's do swatches again. Yeah. Start with the shade. I'll swirl it. I want to make sure I get a good... I don't like the way it's swatching on my skin. It's not giving what I expect it to give, if that makes sense. Hold on. Just try to... Okay, so that's the first shade. That's like a contour. Let's go into this one. Okay, maybe that's supposed to be the bronzer. And then let's go into this one. And then let's go into this one that looks like a highlighter. We'll put it there. So that's what they look like. Let me, you know what, let me double this. Let me just double swatch this. See how much I can, okay. So you can see. So it's not deep enough. So it's not deep enough. But anyway, let me do my concealer, blend it out, and then, you know, just put a little bit of powder and we get there, right? Okay, so moment of truth. Just the swatches, you know, I don't feel like they were deep enough, but, you know, let's see. So I'm going to just swirl round the 4 of them. I'm not even doing one side. That's not, it's pointless. Let's just put the brush everywhere, yeah? And that's what we have. So don't forget, I have not used any, what do you say? No contour, nothing, just this, okay? That's the bit that I see that is coming up more is the red bit, but let me try and push and get this bit, the contour side. Let's see. On the nose, I'm going to use it alone. Let's see if we're able to get more there. that point, but you can see here that I've taken it here. You can see the contour showing up there. Okay, let's swirl around again, just so we create uniformity. And then I said on the nose, we're going to use that shade just alone for the nose. But let me just go everywhere. Try and correct the side more, so I don't have just the red. Yeah. Okay, let's take it to the eyes. Swirl around, yeah. Okay, so let's get to, for the nose, get a brush. Okay, so for the nose, let's go straight into this alone, yeah? That's what you can see it on the brush. Okay, so let's put it here. I think the brush is a bit wet, but you can see it. I think it's contouring the nose, you can see it. Yeah, I'll just swirl around now just to make sure it's not take off any harsh lines. I think this whatever, it can pan real quick, so you've got to be careful. You really have to be careful, make sure your brush is not wet whatsoever. I'm going back again just to, and what do I think of this bronzer now? That's what's playing up in my head. Well, I don't know. Okay, I'll hold my thoughts until I finish. I'll hold my thoughts. Give me a minute. I'm just trying to make sure you see what I'm doing, because a bit of patches. I don't want to. I want to make sure there are no patches whatsoever. So that's why I'm doing this. Okay. Okay. So okay, let me turn off the light. Hold on. Okay, let me do the rest of my face and I'll give you my final thoughts on it, right? Okay, I finished my eyes and stuff. So I thought, you know what, let me see if we can use this one, this shade here. This black brush might not be it. Let me look for another brush. Okay, yeah, let's use this brush. It's a Sonia G, and see if we can pick that shade here and use it as my blush, yeah? Okay, so that's it. Let me just put it on here. Okay, this is nice. It works, that shade alone works like a blush. Okay, that's fine. Right, guys, I need you people to recommend for me a shade of blush, not Pat McGrath, something I haven't reached for before. I don't know if House Labs has a shade. If you think House Labs has a shade like this, or Valentino has something like this, please, if you recommend that to me, it's that white cast. If you recommend that to me, I would appreciate it. I'm looking for a blush in this tone. I like the Rose Radiant of Chanel, but I want something, another blush, just a backup of that, which is in the shade. I really appreciate. Now, okay, let me still keep my thoughts. Okay, so this is a final look. Right, let me just tell you what I think of this bronzer real quick. Oh, let me take you to the window. Hold on. So this is the window, and you can see that this gives me a natural hue. Let's go sit down. Okay, so this just gives me a natural hue. So then I know you're asking what's my thought on the bronzer. Right, so first I like the packaging is Lux. What do I wish was different? I wish you got rid of the shade and you had another deep shade that was, if you want to say, a deeper bronzer, since that's a contour, deeper bronzer. And this you also have here another deeper bronzer. So what am I trying to say? I wish you had more deeper shades than this, right? Because if you take this one out, this shade, if you take out that shade, the rest of it is nothing. So Givenchy, I know you're obsessed with the 4, color, whatever. I have one of your highlighters I finished it, had 4 colors and all of that's nice. But for deep skin, since you only had 3 shades, it would have been nice if rather than you trying to put a highlighter there, you had another deep bronzer, since that's a contour. So would have just had 4 different shades of bronzers. That would have been great. The concept is nice. And then what else do I wish? I wish you had a little bit bigger. It feels for me, maybe because it's pressed or it was a pan, I feel like, would I get more from this? But for the price 48, that's okay. But do I wish you had this in a bigger whatever? That would have been nice. And then you just gave me 2 colors. I would have appreciated that. You know what I mean? But it's nice. Now, for a deeper skin person than me, if you're, as I said, deeper, yeah, if you're deeper than me, you'd have to use a contour. So you might want to use this. Reach for this and then come in with this. Then, it would show. Otherwise, not a chance. That's what I would say. And you've seen it, bring you close again. You can see this is like a natural hue on me. I don't have anything like this. You've seen my bronzers, my Armani, MS. I don't have anything in this 4 pan whatever. So this is nice. I actually really like it for this particular shade, to be honest. Not even this. I'm not so keen on this. I'm keen on the shade. That shade is beautiful because it creates a seamless hue between this and this. You know what I mean? It does. So that's nice. That's the thing I like. But then I think also blendability, you've got to know how to blend, because it's a 4 pan stuff. It kind of makes it difficult to just swirl around and do whatnot. Or maybe I don't have a better brush for it. I don't know. But the concept is nice. It is nice, but you would have to expand your shades and you would have to get rid of that highlighter. It's not necessary. Would rather have a bronzer in with more shades than you having to put a highlighter there. There's no need for that. And please, if you guys know this shade, if you know, if they on their powder blushes, if they have this shade, please recommend it to me. I want to pick it up. I really would love to pick up. I love that shade. As you know, it reminds me of Paradise Venus, but just with a little bit toner, just a little bit of a red thing to it than the Paradise Venus. So I really want to pick that up. I just want to try something I haven't used before for blush. So I would love to have that. If you recommend to me, you would appreciate. So that's it for me. Chanel, I'm waiting on it. I checked today because I ordered it during the holidays. I think they're just processing it today. So today might be the first day of processing. So hopefully with the 24-hour thing they do, let's hope they send it out. But sometimes Chanel in the UK, I don't know about the US, they're a bit finicky with their deliveries and stuff. So let's hope it comes tomorrow. And if it comes tomorrow, you get a video up. I'm getting better by the day, so I will put a video out ASAP. So that's what we're waiting for. And I was tempted to pick up the shade before it, because it seems to me, when I read on my phone, I think they're reformulated. I read something here. Let me show you guys. Hold on. Sorry, this is just me just chatting about Chanel. Where is it now? Okay, is this it? Hold on. Trying to find where. Oh, I'm coming. Yeah, it said a radiant return, and then it mentioned that rediscover. So I think it's been reformulated. So I was a bit keen. It says back in the glow of Le Beige Healthy Glow Bronzing Cream, now available in 5 shades with a new design embossed with a double C emblem. Rediscover the unique cream. So if it's saying you should rediscover, I think there's been a tweak. So I was curious to pick up the shade before the one I picked, which would be this shade. I wanted to pick this one so that I could say, you know what, I've got this, but that's the model that they used on it. So I was just thinking to pick for comparison. Okay, so as I said, I was going to pick up the shade, this one, which was the shade before the one I picked, because it says to rediscover. So I think there's been a tweak on the shades. I think they've tweaked it. That's what I think. So I wanted to pick it up, but I thought, you know what, it's best to, a friend of mine said, it's best to wait to get it first, and then you can then see. So that might be, so I'm just saying that to say that I may, depending on how deep I see this is, that would give me a hint if they have slightly tweaked the shade before it, you know, the ones that most brown skin girls were saying they couldn't use it. It was, that shade was something like this. It was just something, you know, very natural. I remember having it years ago. But yeah, so we'll wait for it. If it comes tomorrow and I see that it's promising, then you get another, the shade before it, so that we can then compare. You know what I mean? And for me, if I, after that, because I know I can't return to the UK, I would pair it with this one, the deep mauve, and the deep rose. You know what I mean? So let's just see. Enough of the talking. I'll have to see you tomorrow when the other one comes around, the Chanel. Fingers crossed. And if it's not tomorrow, it would be Thursday. But as soon as I have it here, you're gonna get a review ASAP. All right, take care. Please don't forget to subscribe. If you're on TikTok, please click the follow button. YouTube, I would appreciate you subscribe. It would you subscribing to my channel. It would help. And as always, thank you and take care. God bless.